is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fieldy's Flicks for episode 2. It's Movie Monday, so you know what that means. It's time to talk about a movie here. And for this installment, it's The Godfather. I was really excited to see this one. And hey, I'll tell you what. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. If you click that subscribe button down below, I will personally shout you out on my social media accounts. I'm just trying to grow and build my community every day. I'm working really hard to not only work on my blog, but my YouTube channel as well. So if you could hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Now, on with the review. The Godfather was directed by Francis Ford Coppola and came out in 1972 as it stars Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Robert Duvall, James Caan, Diane Keaton, as it headlines a star-studded cast for what is an incredible movie. There's a reason why this is a classic, and I think we're going to get into it, but it is just so well done, and Francis Ford Coppola, bravo to you, sir, because this movie is a hit, and I can totally understand why now. The film follows the Corleone family, who was part of the Italian mafia in the 1940s in New York, and the power struggle that goes on with the other families in the mafia during this time period is very prevalent and a big part of this film, but also the characters that really stand out in the family specifically have to be Vito, played by Marlon Brando, and Michael, played by Al Pacino. Their characters are integral to the main plot of the story as they're highly involved together. But it's interesting because since Michael was involved in World War II, he comes back and is not really a part of the family business and was kind of not dealt in on things. But since he is Vito's favorite son, Vito really wants him to have the business and really run things. But Michael really isn't into it at the start. Really important quote that Michael says in the beginning of the film. It's during the wedding scene. He's talking to Kay, and Kay's asking him, "Are you a part of this? Or do you know what's going on?" And he says, "That's my family, Kay. It's not me." This is the important one. This is the one that shows that's where Michael is in the beginning, and then his transformation to the end of the film is really the most intriguing part. I saw a movie a couple weeks ago, Goodfellas, which was a great movie. But the mob boss is the guy that you should be feared. You should really respect him, and he's the guy who gets stuff done. In that, I just felt like he was doing his thing. He was grilling sausages and just kind of there. In this one, Brando really has that figure and that aura about him that just commands respect and commands attention, because every time he has a scene, you pay attention, and you better, because if you don't, then you're in trouble. I think it's interesting to kind of show that even though he has so much power and even though he's done so much, he's kind of off his game. He's kind of at the tail end of his career, and that's a turning point for a lot of families that are in the mafia at that time, and they kind of want him gone. So they try and do anything that they can to take him out and try and supersede his power. The Corleone family, they're not going to let that happen. They're going to try and do the best they can to preserve that power. And Sonny, the oldest son, played by James Caan, who was most notably also in Elf, playing Will Ferrell's dad, does everything he can to try and preserve the family business. He's kind of like a wild card maverick sort of type deal. He'll kind of do what he wants and on impulse, but he kind of won't think things through. And that's, I think, where Vito saw Michael was a little more rational and can kind of do things by thinking them through instead of just kind of being like, oh, this happened, I better retaliate. And I think that's what makes Michael's character so engaging and so relatable, is that in the beginning, he's kind of like, oh, I'm not involved in this, like I shouldn't be. He's just enjoying himself with Kay, and he's, living his life. But as soon as certain events happen, Michael starts to really change. And I think that that turning point is the scene in the restaurant where he deals with Sollozzo, the other head of the Italian mafia family, and the chief of police. Michael has a choice to make, and ultimately that choice is what changes his character for the rest of the film. This movie is really paced well, and for it being almost a 3-hour film, for that to happen is a pretty extraordinary feat. And it's really a tale of two halves. You have the first half where Vito's character is in control, and then the second half, after he's attempted on, by the Salazzo family, it's Michael's time to shine. And I think that that's really well done in the sense of showing how they're different, but also very similar. And I think that's why Vito liked him so much, because he was so much like Michael was so much like him. And the ending is just great because it sets up that line that I mentioned earlier in the beginning. It shows how Michael's come full circle from kind of going to, I'm not involved, that's not me, Kay, to I'm in this, this is my life now. I've accepted the family. I've accepted the family business. And Kay asks him to tell him the truth, and he straight up lies to her. And that not only sets up more tension down the road, but it also builds for another installment, which we will get into next time as I will review part 2 of The Godfather. But overall, as a score, I'm going to give The Godfather a 4.8 out of 5. That's the highest rated score I've given a movie, so it's a pretty good accomplishment for The Godfather. Thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, the support that I've gotten over the past month and a half since I've started this channel, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to create more and more content for you guys and put out fun stuff that I like to do, and I hope that you enjoy watching. And part 2 will be coming for The Godfather soon, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.